welcome back to another frickin' video, lads. Yeah, boy, we're frickin' up here in the far north renovating an epic beach house. Holy heck, shit, we've been smashing it. So, yeah, we might as well start off right on this wall. You can see Fabiano's been frickin' whacking out all this easy roll cladding systems. Quite interesting, look at all these PVC flashings, eh? Happening around there, so that's interesting, but we're gonna have to rip all this out and get frickin' noggin. What do you reckon?
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, sweet. So doing that, and I'll start from down there.
Yeah, hard.
And come through.
Yeah.
Sweet. Far out. It's gonna be epic. Another epic episode. So make sure you stay tuned. All right. I'll Have you seen my earbuds?
What a freaking headbutt.
No. To the morning, talking till the first light of dawn. Just like fate without no warning. It hit me so hard.
Pretty tight, okay?
Oh, I'm so sorry, girl, I didn't mean to. I done messed it up again. Yeah, I'm sorry if I crossed the line. What am I supposed to do right now? Baby, I'm falling for you. What I would do for you to love me too. No, I can't hide it no more.
Little hot tip when we're putting these nogs in is pretty much I always start with one side, get that side nice, and then work my way over to the other, because otherwise you're going to be forever fighting yourself trying to get both lined up at the same time, and we're out of gun now, but you get what I mean. Start with one, then move over. Fabiano's going to take over now, and I am going to start planing these walls.
Thank you, good sir.
Sweet, so what I'm doing with the wall framing when I'm planing, I'm sort of just going through and I'm just checking for any big humps and bumps. Just trying to get it somewhat straight through there. I don't want any, you'll notice that things like this, like where walls meet like that, these blocks are always a little bit proud. And also like above the lintels, you can see that big spot there. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to mitigate as many of those areas as possible and trying to get this wall as flat as I can before we put the plywood on. But then we can go through and we can double, triple check on our battens if we need a buzz here and there. But for the focus of this is just trying to like get all the big bits gone. It's going to be pretty hard to get completely perfect, but yeah, that's pretty much the goal here. Checking the lintel for bows or anything like that. I can see, you can see, look how big that bow is. So what I'll end up doing is I might clamp this back together, put some more nails in it, and then double check it. That way, you know, I'm just trying to clamp those lintels back together and stop them from spreading again. It's only got 1, 2, 3 nails holding this in, and I'm assuming there might be 3 on the other side. So they are big freaking 4-inch nails, I'm assuming, or big flat heads, so they do hold quite a bit, but not enough.
Falling for you. What I would do for you to love me too. No, I can't hide it no more. What I would do.
Alright, so you can see in this situation, the old builders have actually cut the stud and wedged it out because it must have quite a big bow in there, and there's an internal wall that meets that. But over time, what's happened is it's pushed out, and so I'm having to buzz this section through here. It's not really the right way of joining the stud. It should really have a big laminated bit there, but that's alright. We just work with what we got, but yeah, so that's pretty much it. Alright, this freaking meter box, what are we going to do here? I got enough space along the top to be able to, I'm just going to pull that foam out and get my flashing tape in and underneath there. I can fit my fingers in And then this side over here, it's got a bit of damage on it. You can see it's rusted, so I'm going to actually pull this off and leave about a 10 or 20 mil gap down there, so I'm able to get my flashing tape in and around. And then the same at the bottom. I'm going to be able to do the same thing, but I can't put the flashing tape on until the eco plies in, so I'm going to just fiddle around with this for a little bit. I have to take some of these nails out. Just be super careful, obviously, because the freaking power's right there. So pull that out, do that, flashing tape, and then there's a retrofit flashing system that we can rivet on to this outside of this box, seal it up with silicone once our flashing tapes and stuff go on. Now I finally got the wall framing exactly where I want it. We're going through and we're installing some new R2.6 wall bats. Just like this, we're going to install it all the way through, and then we'll be able to time to put some eco-ply in. Sort of what we're doing is we're trying to keep the edges nice and tight without any too many wrinkles, without any gaps. You sort of see that? There's a little bit of a wrinkle. Oh, that's just Fabian's cut.
Yeah, sorry.
That's alright, but yeah, that's the goal with the installation. So we're going to go whip all that in. Looks good. Happy as with that. I'm going to go get a new knife blade.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nah, there's not enough, bro.
Hey.
One and only one.
Finger.
Do you reckon my knife blade needs one?
Oh.
See? Well, let's see the size of your blade. Oh,
Nah.
wow, that's just wastage right there.
Your knife just needs a blue pill, mate.
Try to tell what you were thinking, what you might feel.
Woohoo! Good morning. I'm not sure how far that time lapse got yesterday, but this is what we got achieved. Holy heck, we freaking smashed it. We worked till like 7 o'clock last night. Oh shit. Well, we set a task and we were like, fuck, we better try and freaking complete it. Jesus Christ. Oh my gosh. But to quickly sort of slowly recap, you can see we've got our sheets here. We're trying to leave 3 mil gap between each one so they can expand and contract. These sheets actually come in like 2,397, so it already allows for that. But unfortunately, when I'm freaking coming through here, all these sheets are different sizes, like different widths. Like that one was, from memory, 1122. This one was 1080. This one was 1085. That's just because we have to go with the existing stud lines. Sort of random, actually. I don't know. Like I thought they had built this quite well, but then this extension quite well, but I am slowly not thinking that. But hey, that's cool. We got the windows in. They're just temporarily tacked in. This window here I actually stuffed up slightly. There was a direct fix detail on here. I did stuff it up, but there was 2 battens on each side with a sill tray in there for some reason. So the plywood around here is actually a little bit short, you can see. So we can either push the window to one side or the other, or we can do the same system. And then our tapes will actually cover that little extra piece that's in our way there. But we definitely need to put something in there. But for the morning, our first task is we've got our scaffold set up. Now you can see that this fascia, existing fascia, is actually short. It doesn't go past the purlins or even the roof line, and that means when we go to put our barge flashing on, there's only like 15 mil cover, so we're actually going to have to pull that off and replace that first thing in the morning, so the roofers can come in and temporarily put their barge flashings on. I can't get the painter in until not next week but the week after to do the fascias and feet, but that doesn't matter too much. They're going to temporarily tack all the barges on for us, which is pretty cool, and we'll be able to pull them back off when the painter comes, so he can get a good finish on all our on all the fascias. So that reminds me, I've got to send him the paint colours as well, so I'll quickly get onto that and then get Fabiano a measurement. Hey, how are you doing? Hey, what you doing, buddy? So, on further inspection, I've noticed that this feet isn't actually tucked into the groove for some reason. So that means I'm just going to have to trim this existing fascia back a little bit. And then when we put our new one on, we should be able to get that groove in again. By the looks, it does cook out by like 3mm. So if I cut that 3mm, I reckon right as rain, mate. Then I've also got some stainless steel clouts. I'm actually going to put a couple of tacks in the feet line through here. Hopefully it doesn't break and be brittle. So I can actually pull the fascia off without removing the feet lining. And I know that there's fixing here because I can see that there's a fly rafter that goes all the way along and down. So we'll tack that on, we'll pull this off, trim that, and then get the new fascias in. Thanks, Fabian.
Oh, good.
He's like, hey. Yeah, you got that, eh? Alright, gonna cut this fascia tail off. Now I want to come out square off this fascia here, so 150mm is what we normally go. Pretty much hides the end of the spouting and gives the barge flashing something to cap onto. Then I just get my plumb stick. Up. Ready for paint.
What you might feel for me. And I know that we've been out drinking.
So pretty much same process as yesterday. It sort of wants to look like this. Holy heck, look at that. Flash as. Holy moly. So insulation in, nogs at 600 centers, packed and planed where necessary. Now holy heck, we had to plane a bit through here. Man, it was so far out. Studs were bowed, and then on this side studs were bowed the other way. So you can see I packed it out with DPC. Now what I think had happened is this lintel has actually twisted, and so this side over here was pulled out and it created a big bow in those studs, and then this one was twisted in, so it made a big bow the other way. So I had to pack this out. This was like maybe 7mm, and I sort of feathered it out where I think it's necessary. And then this side here, this was about 5mm. Had to plane all that, get it all real nice. But yeah, you know, we were pretty much sorted. We're ready for our freaking eco ply, which is wicked. Fabiano's bringing the saw stalls over right now. That one cool thing about putting insulation in from the outside, the new R2.6 pink bats, is that we can actually get into our external corner pockets through here. Normally we don't actually get a chance to put that in, and then where our intermediate walls go, so we're really insulating every single little section. I mean, if we were good, we could probably put insulation in through here when we're framing up the walls. We could put like an X bowl in there, but hey, at least we got an R2.6 ready to rock and roll. So let's freaking cut into some bloody What do you reckon? It's an eco-ply. First thing I do is I actually check the width, because every single time, like I mentioned this morning, the widths aren't 1200. So you measure and you check the width. At this one here, I'm going to come to this stud. I put a little center mark there and I measured to that mark and then minus 3 mil. So I was 1135, so I'm going to use 1132 as my measurement. I could do 1133 actually. I might go 1133 because then I have another 1 mil on the other side. So 1133, you want to draw the thing that you're cutting the way it wants to go, and then you just get your measurements. Now in this situation, I'm going to have the eco-ply actually lap up over and sort of sit center on this truss here. That way it connects everything together through here. The eco-ply can be used as like a top plate connector if you nail it at 75 centers all the way along the top, but we've already got connectors everywhere, which is good. So yeah, that's just a cool feature about this eco-ply stuff. And then I also just leave a small reveal around the outside of the window, and that's just what it sort of mentioned. It mentioned 7 mil, but I'm not doing 7, just a small amount, maybe 2 or 3. But yeah, far out, we'll cut that out, ready to rock and roll. Another thing is, for me to make this measurement, it's pretty easy, is I can just hook onto the underneath side of my boundary joist there, and then I just measure up to the sill and to the lintel, and then I just add 30 mil, because I know that my ply wants to overhang 30 mil. Yeah, sweet, look at our cool little platform. We just used a pallet that came with some of the eco-ply on it already. Now with the eco-ply, it's got to face a certain way, and the reason being is it's got this painted edge underneath here. The top isn't quite painted, so it sort of protects this bottom side a little bit more than the other edges. And now I've got my measurements, and you could do this somewhat accurately if you really wanted to, but I like to just do it at speed. So I'm going to cut my sheet down to 2.7. So that means I put a little mark there, and I really just use it like I'm cutting some jib. I'm just going to put this on here like this. I know it's probably about 47 mil because the there's a freaking stable in my way. So it's going to be like this, and then I can just go all the way along. Boom, that's my cut that I need to do. Then I just use this as the reference as well. So what have I got? 1630. I'm not going to be able to get this one obviously because it's too big. So 1630, and then 2235, 2235, and then from the outside edge I've got 795. So 795 like that. Same thing again, at least I know where my 795 is, and I can just mark that along like this, and I know where my lintel height is, so I can just mark that along like this, and then again I'm just going to have to go 1620. And honestly, for this I just use my tape measure, then I can just run along the edge like that. Boom. Look at that.
Speedy.
Yeah, that's right. And we'll just cut that and stick it in. Why did I do 1730? I noticed that. Shit, look how much on the piss that is. Far out, looks like Fabian on Saturday night.
Hey, lucky you let us there early. Not me on a Saturday night.
I done messed it up again. Yeah, I'm sorry if I crossed the line. I crossed the line. What am I supposed to do right now? Maybe I'm falling for you. What I would do for you to love me too. Oh, no, I can't hide it no more.
Sneak peek into a look at the cladding. Oi. Side profile only. Wow, that's freaking cool shit. I'm so excited. Oh, like a kid. There is a small amount of damage with the forks right here, but hopefully I'm able to get that out. But yeah, how cool. Freaking wrapped.
Baby, I'm falling for you. And what I would do for you to let
Okay, sweet. So we're just using, you'll be wondering why the heck we're just screwing it on, and it's because all the insulation has to get inspected. So we're just tacking it on, and hopefully we can just pull one panel off and you can see on each wall, but I'm taking photos and shit like that. We're also using a screw just to give our gap, our 3mm gap, just to make it easier when we set the board up and in. Oh, we got that last little bit. Hey, then we can go for a mountain swim. Woo! And we're gonna wrap that video up here. Me and Fabiano frickin' smashed it this week. I hope you guys had heaps of frickin' got lots of little bits of tips and tricks and all that, so good stuff out of it, man. We got the, I can't believe how much we got done so far. We've still got a day to go before I head back to the Auks, eh? Hey, but appreciate you guys tuning in. Sheesh, man, honestly, we're frickin', if you're enjoying these videos, make sure you give it a thumbs up, leave a comment and stuff like that. I mean, I think we're doing really well. These videos are frickin' epic, man. Big shout out to Mikey in the office for editing it really well, eh? Hey, but it's also my filming skills. Nah, but anyway, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
what I would do for you to love me too.
This. Try it again. Like this. Like this. Foo-wee! We're gonna wrap that video up here. Far out, we actually smashed it the last couple for free, but cut. Woo! Gonna wrap that bloody video up here. Holy heck, we completely smashed it the last few days. Holy heck. Look at this, freaking windows are in. We've got to pull them back out there, our tapes and stuff like that. And you know the gist of it. Fuck's sakes. Stop. Woo-wee! We absolutely. Look, he's coming around again.